Hi everybody, my name is Stacy. I'm a sales manager with Allison's Pantry, and I'm here with my son Alex, who is a chef, and he's going to teach us some ways to save money at home by cooking restaurant quality meals for our family. All of the products that we are using tonight are from Allison's Pantry, and so you're going to learn fun and exciting ways to dress up your plate and enjoy what you're cooking.
Hey everybody, so the dishes that we're going to do tonight are 3 dishes that would be restaurant quality that you can do in your home here and have a little bit of fanciness to them, and you can impress your guests. And like my mom said, everything that we're using comes from Allison's Pantry. So the first dish we're going to do is steak with shrimp cream sauce. That's going to be matched with some mashed potatoes and vegetables that will be on the bottom of the plate. The next dish will be a seared halibut with smashed baby potatoes. It'll have asparagus and bacon with a garlic broth. And we'll show you how to put those together and plate them up really nicely, and you can see what it looks like. Okay, so the first dish, like I explained, is the steak dish. Now for this dish, we have a couple different items that you're gonna be using. Namely, to start us off is our flat iron steaks. These are Holton steaks. They're pretty awesome, great quality meat, and that's what we're gonna use to actually cook the protein. Then we're gonna need to use some different items for the sauces. We have diced onions, which are right here. I chopped up some shrimp that we're gonna use to make the sauce as well. And then I have minced garlic and a little bit of cream that we'll use for that sauce. And then the veg for this is the bean and carrot blend, which is right here, and we're gonna saute that up for the veg of the dish. I have a couple of different types of herbs. There's parsley and some herbes de Provence that I'll use to spice and season things up with. I have a little bit of extra saute butter that we'll use at the very end with the meat, and gives it some extra flavor. And then obviously I have the blend oil. This is a mixture of olive oil and canola. Canola is really good to use because it has a higher sear temperature, and it's good to use that for your proteins. So let's get started. Add just a little bit of that canola oil down on the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to season our steaks. And I just have regular salt and pepper. Just give them a nice little coat across the top. So we take that side and place it right down in the pan. The pan's nice and hot, so you get that instant sound. That's what you're looking for. And once we set those down, we're not going to touch them. You just want to leave them alone for a few minutes, and that's what creates that nice char and gives you the color. I will take a little bit of extra salt and seasoning just on the other side so that we don't have to worry about that later. Okay, so now the items that we're going to use for this, a couple of different prep ways that I've done it. So like I explained, the shrimp has been just chopped up. It's in I'd call it a small chop, and that's what we're gonna use to make the sauce. Same with the onions. That's a smaller chop, and you wanna use that so you get a good amount in the sauce. Garlic, everybody understands how to mince garlic. You wanna chop it really small, again, for the flavor. And then like I explained, the cream that we're gonna use here. Now a couple of tools that you're gonna wanna make sure you have on hand. You can use tongs. I have a couple of pairs of bigger pliers tweezers that work really nicely, but something that will help you to turn the steak and to saute the vegetables with. So you want to have maybe a couple extra big spoons laying around for your saucing. And then also I have a fish spatula for our later dishes coming on. Okay, so now it's been a couple of minutes on the steak here. I'm just gonna go ahead and take these and turn them over. You can see there's a little bit of browning on the side there. Again, I'm gonna flip them over, and then I'm just gonna leave them. I wanna let them sit so they get some more color on there. Okay, so the starch that we have for this dish is the mashed potatoes. Now these are the red skins that come already done in the package, and all I've done is I've taken some of those out and reheated them in a pot. Now I've also added a little bit of cream and butter to these, and I love to add cream and butter to the potatoes. That's what gives it a lot of that extra really good flavor. So that's what you want to have on the side, doing a little bit of heating, and you can get that to the right consistency. We're going to take this and we're going to smear it across the plate. So you're looking for a little bit of a looser texture so that it will actually spread nicely across the plate. The last other thing here that we have is I did a little bit of garnish for this. Now what this is right here is bell pepper, and I've taken the bell pepper and I sliced it really thin with my chef's knife, and it looks something like that. And then what you do is you cut really thin stripes out of it this way and put it in cold water. And what that does is actually just gives a little bit of curl to those bell peppers, and that's what we're gonna put on the top of the dish when it's all finished. It's another little extra flair to show some skill, but also gives extra flavor because it is bell peppers. Okay, so our steaks have seared on both sides. Now, a couple of things. These steaks are fairly thin, so they're not going to take a lot of time to cook. So what we want to do now is actually let them rest. Now, resting is a very important technique in the cooking world, and what it does is we want to set it on a rack that has a catch pan, and that's going to let air circulate. Now, the reason for resting is this is how you get a nice cooked steak that's evenly temped all the way through. Letting it sit and letting it rest will allow that heat to transfer all the way through the meat, and that's what gives you consistent color rather than having dark on the top and really pink in the middle. So we're going to let those rest for about 5 minutes. We just want to let them sit on the side. While we're doing that, I'm going to continue to make our sauce, and I'm going to use the same pan that I was cooking the steak in. I'm going to add a little bit more oil, and then I'm going to add some of my onions, followed up by a little bit of garlic, and I'm going to let that just saute for just a little bit. You're looking for those onions to be a little translucent, meaning that they're becoming clear and you can see through them. And the reason I'm using the same pan is whenever you're cooking, there is flavor that gets built inside this pan. It's called fond, and you want to use that in every way you can. So it's very common in the restaurant setting to where you're using the same pan you've seared meat in to give you that extra flavor. And so the way to do that is that continue cooking, and then you're going to introduce a little bit of liquid into this pan, and that's what releases that flavor off the bottom. And that's what we're going to turn into our pan sauce, and that's what it is called, is a pan sauce that goes alongside of our dish. So now that I've let those saute just a little bit, I'm going to add in our shrimp, which I've diced here. And we're going to spread that out a little bit and let that cook. Now, I've cut the shrimp small enough that it's probably not going to take too long for that to cook, and you don't want it to go so far that it becomes rubbery. Shrimp has a tendency to go rubbery when it's overcooked, so you want to just look for it to start to change color a little bit. It'll get a little bit pink, and that's what you're looking for before you introduce the liquid. Okay, now that this has cooked just a little bit and the shrimp has started to change color, I'm going to add, first before the cream, I'm going to add 2 little pats of butter in there. That butter is going to create the softness and the velvetyness that you're looking for in the sauce. And as that's melting, then I'm going to add, you want about 1/8 of a cup of cream, 1/8 to 1/4. Not a lot, but just enough to give you that creaminess for your sauce. Go ahead and stir that around. Like I explained, as you're moving that, you'll notice that all of that flavor that was on the bottom of the pan has then been released. And that's because you've introduced that liquid, and it's now becoming a part of the actual sauce that we're going to use. So as that continues to cook a little bit, you'll see the butter is starting to melt. And as the cream cooks, it's going to thicken up just a little bit, and that's what you're looking for. I'm also going to take the parsley, the dried parsley that I have here, and I'm going to sprinkle some of that in there. Parsley does a lot to bring flavor and also color to your dishes, so it's good to have that around. And the herbes de Provence, I'm going to put that in there. That brings flavor as well. So now you can see that that sauce has actually started to thicken up just about to where we want it. So I'm going to actually take this pan off and let it sit for just a little bit on the side. And then I'm going to bring back a different pan, a little bit smaller. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put my steak back in this pan, and that's what I'm going to baste with that butter. Okay, so now the pan's hot. I'm going to take my steak that I want to use. I'm just going to use one for right now. I'm going to place that back in the pan, and then I'm going to take some of this sauté butter that we have. And this is basically a compound butter which has been temped down so that it's creamy, and then you add a little bit of herbs and some seasonings to it. And that's what you can use to actually baste your proteins with. It gives that extra bit of flavor, and a secret in the restaurant industry is everything basted in butter is going to taste better. So you definitely want to be able to do that. And you can see as that butter starts to melt, what you're going to do is you're going to tilt your pan a little bit to the side, and then you're using your spoon to actually scoop some of that butter up and ladle it across the top of your steak. And you can see that technique that we're doing there, and it's going to continue to melt that butter, and that's going to add flavor. Now I'm going to let it sit for just a few minutes and heat that up again. Okay, so now the steak, I'm going to flip it over, and you can see that it's actually caramelized a little bit more and give you some more brown flavor. And that butter has actually started to turn brown as well. That's okay. Brown butter actually is a flavor that goes well with dark meat, so that is totally fine. Now that I'm gonna let that just sit on the side for just a minute, and I have another pan here that is hot, and I'm going to saute our beans and carrots in there. Again, I used a little bit of this canola blend oil to give us some oil on the bottom. I'm gonna let that saute for a second and add a little bit of salt and pepper. Everything needs to be seasoned well. And then again, I'm gonna add a little bit of this parsley as well. And the veg is also going to be finished with some of this butter. It will give some more of that flavor that we're looking for. Just let that melt for a second. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and start plating. And I have this oval plate here that I'm going to use. It's nice and white, gives you some good contrast with the darkness that you're gonna look for. Now I'm going to take my mashed potatoes that I have been holding hot, and what I'm gonna do for this technique here is I want to get a little bit scooped up in my spoon, and I'm just gonna set it right here on the side of this plate. And then what I'm gonna do after that is take the bottom of the spoon, I'm looking for this side of the edge here, and I'm gonna hold it at that same level, push it down, and then just swipe it across the plate. And it gives you a little bit of that swoop technique that you're looking for there. If you want more potatoes, which that's never a bad thing, just add a little bit more to it. And when you do the swipe, don't put so much pressure, just do a little bit less, and it gives you a little bit more potatoes that you're looking for there. Then I'm going to take my veg, which is now sauteed here, and I want to place those in the pan or on the plate with our potatoes. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do kind of a little pile of them right in the middle. The nice thing about these beans is they're different colors. It gives you a nice contrast to your plate. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do with this is I wanna take my steak and I actually wanna cut this. And I wanna give it a little bit of a different design when you're plating it. So I'm gonna take it and cut it on a bias. Just run your chef's knife through it, even slices, and on a bias. So you can see that that meat's been cut. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually fan this meat, and so the presentation can look a little bit different. But if I'm gonna pick one of these up so you can see it, you can see that that cooked through. You're nice and pink in the middle, and you can obviously see that it's nice and juicy from all the liquids. So now I'm gonna pick those pieces up, and I just wanna fan them across the center of that plate. Keep them together in a line there. Okay. And now I'm gonna take the sauce that I made, which is still in my pan here, and I'm just gonna take this sauce and lay it right across the top of that steak, kind of on a diagonal. And then last but not least, we're gonna take some of our pepper garnish that we've made. Go ahead and dry it off just a little bit so it doesn't add any extra liquid, and I just wanna set that right across the top of that steak. Just like that. So now you end up with a seared flat iron steak, your garlic mashed potatoes on the bottom, and your vegetables on the side with the sauce across the top. And you have your garnish on top. Again, another restaurant quality steak dish that you could present to anybody, and I'm pretty sure they would be pretty wowed by that. So there's the first dish for you. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our second dish, which is the halibut dish. Halibut is a personal favorite fish of mine because it cooks really easily, and when it's done, it's light and flaky. And so here I have these halibut portion fillets that I'm gonna use, and I've let them thaw out. And what I'm gonna do to start is, again, I'm gonna use my blended oil in a hot pan. Add just a little bit to the bottom there. You wanna make sure you don't use too much oil, but you want just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna take my salt and pepper, and again, season that fish. Pepper, I use sparingly. On white fish, it does show up when you cook it, and some people aren't a fan of that, but I personally don't mind. I like the flavor of the pepper, so I use it just a little lightly, and you can see there on the bottom of that fillet. Again, I'm gonna use my seasoned side down first, and place that in there. Same with my second piece. Now, here's the secret with doing fish. Once you place the fish in the pan, do not touch it again. You need to make sure that you push it down just enough that it's contacting that hot surface and leave it alone. To get a really nice crisp sear on the one side, you do not want to touch it. A lot of mistakes that people have is they'll put that fish in there and then they'll kind of move it around the pan and they think that that's going to give them a nice cook. The problem with that is fish is so delicate that it actually will tear the bottom of that skin. So leave it where it sits and let it cook until you start to see a little bit of the browning happening on the outside edges of that fish. When you see that brown, you know that you're starting to colorize and you're about where you want it to be. And at that point, you can then go and flip that fish over. But until that comes to that point, just leave it and let it sit how it is. Now, for the veg on this dish, I have a couple of different things, and I'll show you what this is going to look like. So we have baby potatoes. You can see that's what these are right here, and I've actually gone ahead and smashed them, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I put those right down on my cutting board, and I just use the palm of my hand, and I just press those down, and it gives you that nice smashed look there. And the reason I do this is because when I put those in the pan to cook them, they're going to sear really nicely on those flat surfaces. And potatoes are really good about caramelizing and giving you crispy outside and staying soft on the inside. So that's the prep that you want to do for those. And I have a handful of those potatoes to go in that dish. The next item that I have is my asparagus. And you can see that I've used the asparagus and I've actually cut it into smaller pieces, about 1.5 inches long. I'm using the ends. You want to make sure you use the ends, and I'm cutting that down to the bottom towards the stalk. You want to refrain from using about the bottom inch or 1.5 inches of the stalk of an asparagus. It gets a little bit woody or stocky, and it's kind of hard to eat. So just use the top portion of that. And then last that I have here is some bacon. Everybody loves bacon. I've gone ahead and pre-diced some that I'm going to use for my pan, but I also wanted to show you, for those of you who may be interested, how to cut. Now I've taken 3 pieces of bacon here, and I've actually split them right down the middle. You can see there. I set those on my cutting board, and I'm just going to use my chef's knife. And I'm just going to go ahead and with my knuckles, my fingers tucked back with my knuckles so my knife doesn't chop them, I'm just going to hold that bacon and just gently push through there. If your knife is sharp, it should cut through without any resistance or too much force. So you can see there that it gives you a little bit of a chop. Now when you render these down, they're going to cook down into a nice little perfect size that you want to eat in your dish. And that's how you chop that bacon. So now that I've let that go, I'm going to come back over here and check my fish again. But before I flip it, I want to make sure I season the other side. Again, a little bit of that salt and just a light sprinkle of some pepper on there. Now I'm starting to see, I'll turn this up a little bit, you'll see a little bit on the inside of this fish here, there's a little bit of brown crusting happening on the inside, and that's what I'm looking for. That tells me that that fish has started to brown. Now another tool that you want to have is something like this. This is called a fish spatula. You can use any kind of spatula that is very thin and lets you get under that fish without a little bit of resistance. And that's the key to having fish that turns out really nice, is you're using a good spatula that helps you to grab it and flip it over. Now you can see that that fish is brown on the top side, and if you touch it, it actually has a little bit of that crunchiness that you're looking for with the skin or the top of the fish. And later on, when we baste this in more butter, you'll notice that it richens the color and gets a little bit darker because that butter will add extra flavor and caramelization to that dish. Now I'm going to take this and set it off to the side a little bit here and let that keep going. And I'm going to use another pan to start the veg that I have. So again, use my oil and coat a little bit of the pan here. And the first thing I want to do is add my bacon. Now obviously bacon's going to release a little bit of grease, and that's fine, so you don't want to use a ton of oil. But the reason I start with that bacon is it's going to take a little bit of time to render the bacon down. And that's okay, you just want to make sure that you let it start to render before you add anything else to the dish, because once you add more components, that bacon tends to stop cooking. And so you want to make sure you've cooked it just enough so that it's actually ready to eat and it doesn't raw bacon for you. So the fish is cooked for just a couple of minutes on the other side there, and I'm starting to see that browning happening that I was talking about for the first time. So I'm actually going to take this fish out of the frying pan, and I'm gonna place them on my resting rack just for a minute here. Fish, you can set it off to the side for a few minutes and let it sit. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to let it rest to evenly transfer, because fish is a little bit different in the way that it cooks, but it's okay to let it sit for just a few minutes and let it rest, because I'm going to put it back inside the pan and baste it with more butter to bring it back up to temp. So I'm gonna let that sit so it's not overcooked. And now I've let this bacon render a little bit. You see it starting to change some color. I'm gonna add my potatoes. So I wanna take these potatoes here, and like I was explaining, I'm just gonna place them flat side down and press them just a little bit. Try and put them in the hot spots on the pan so they get a nice caramelization. I'm just gonna put 5 of these in here, but you can put as many as you would like. So I'm gonna let those cook for just a few minutes to start caramelize on the other side. Okay, so now those potatoes have seared just a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and flip them over, but I'll show you that the one side here is started to caramelize on that flat surface. So I'm just gonna spin those over so they cook on the other side. And you can see that in the pan, my bacon has continued to render down. You're getting a little bit of that bacon flavor released, and that's okay because everybody loves bacon flavor. So now I'm gonna take some of this asparagus and I'm just gonna sprinkle it around the outside of that pan to, again, saute and bring some color to it. And then we'll let this cook for just a couple more minutes. So now our veg has had a little bit of time to cook, and you can see that potatoes are browned all the way around. The bacon is rendered down nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually add some butter to this. This one I'm using is the lemon dill butter. Obviously dill and lemon go perfectly with fish and the veg that goes with it. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of that to the pan there. I'm also gonna add some of my herbs that I've used. This is the parsley, and then this time I'm actually gonna add a little bit of the dried chives. Chives go well with dishes. And I'm gonna let that go ahead and cook for just a second in that butter. Let those potatoes soak up some of that flavor. Now also, the sauce that I have for this dish, I'll tilt this a little bit so you can see. I've made a soy and garlic broth or consomme, and the way that I've done this is I've actually used chicken base and made a stock out of it. And the ratios for that are about 2 cups of water and about a tablespoon of chicken base. And I put that in there, and then once it's come up to a boil, I've added 1 large clove of garlic that I've minced so that it's nice and small. And then I added about 1/8 of a cup of soy sauce, maybe a touch less. Soy sauce has quite a bit of salt to it, so you want to make sure you don't add too much, but you want a little bit of that flavor that it's going to give. And then what you do is just let that kind of cook down a little bit to have those flavors come together, and you will notice that it starts to render down a little bit. I will add a little bit of herbs to it to give it some extra flavor, and that's the sauce that's going to go with the dish when we finished it. And now that the veg is ready, I'm going to transfer my pan back over here. I have a hot pan again for my salmon, or excuse me, my halibut, which I'm going to take and replace that back in my dish. I'm going to put a little pat of butter just to give me a little bit of flavor in the bottom of that pan. And then again, I'm going to use some of this seasoned saute butter to baste that fish. Now again, this is the same technique that we used for the salmon, or excuse me, for the steak. And what that is as it melts that butter down, we're going to tilt the pan on its side. You can see there that it lets that liquid come down to the bottom. And then using our big spoon, we're just gonna go ahead and spoon that butter back over top of the fish. Now, not only is this giving you flavor, but it actually is helping to cook the fish as well. That butter is very hot, and as you pour that over that fish, it's gonna continue the cooking process. And you'll also notice that it adds some more color. It starts to darken that fish up a little bit. And that butter will continue to cook, and it turns a little bit brown, but that's okay. Brown butter is just fine. So now that that's gone ahead and basted there, let's go ahead and start our plating for this. So for this dish, I am going to plate it in a large bowl. It's open so you can see and be able to access the dish as you're eating it, but it looks nicer in a bowl because you're gonna add consomme or broth, and it's going to sit in the bottom of that. So it's better to do this in a bowl rather than a plate so the sauce doesn't go everywhere. So to start us off, I'm gonna bring my veg pan over and I'm going to add some of this veg in the bottom of this plate here. Make sure you get enough of that bacon and asparagus there. I want to add some of these potatoes. And they tell you to do, when you're plating, do things in odd numbers. It looks easier on the eye when you use odd numbers. So these potatoes, I'm going to just put 3 of those in there rather than 4 of them. And then I'm going to take my fish with my spatula here and I'm just going to place it right across the top of that. And then I'm going to finish this up by adding some of this broth to it. Just go ahead and let it pour right over top of that fish. It's going to add that extra flavor. And you want enough that you're going to see that start to pool at the bottom of your dish. And then last for a garnish, I have some fried onions that I'm going to place just right across the top here. One nice thing is when you're eating fish, it's nice to have a crunch factor or a crunch element that goes with it, because everything's going to be very soft in this dish, and to have something that gives you a contrast makes it a lot easier and nicer to eat. So that's what we're going to end up there with, is the seared halibut, our potatoes, asparagus, and bacon, and then we have our broth that we've added to the bottom of that dish. And again, there's another dish that you can surprise and make everybody excited about. There you go.
Okay, I just want to say thanks to Alex. We've enjoyed what he's been teaching us tonight, and I hope you're all excited to go and fix fancy dinners at home, and you've got Valentine's coming, so it's a great time to take advantage of what we have on sale. In the catalog, there's so many good things. With our 30th anniversary, a lot of these products are on their best sale ever, so take a look and enjoy, and thanks so much, Alex.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Becky Price. I'm one of the regional sales managers at Allison's Pantry, and today I'd like to share with you some great breakfast for dinner ideas using our wonderful products. First, our Big Bite Bulk Bacon. This comes in a 15-pound case. It is a number 2 bacon, which means it's going to have a little bit more fat than the number 1 quality bacon, but it is perfect for Dutch oven cooking or anything you want a great bacon flavor. It is on sale in catalog number 2. Normally it's $36.99, but in catalog 2 you can get it for $32.99, which is a $4 savings. Great time to stock up on this product. Raw bacon is a great product. It gives you the highest level of taste available in a bacon. Raw bacon does have a shorter hold time though, which means that it's only going to be good for about 20 days in your refrigerator or your freezer before it begins to deteriorate in its quality and its taste. So you're going to want to use it right away and not store it for a long period of time. You also want to thaw your raw bacon in your refrigerator, not on your countertop. And the reason is that if it defrosts too quickly, the cure comes out of the bacon and you're going to taste that a lot more. It's going to produce much saltier bacon than it normally would if you would thaw in your refrigerator. Now, raw bacon takes about 12 minutes to cook up, and the very best way to cook raw bacon, believe it or not, is in your oven. You just put it in there at 350 degrees, and the reason it's such a great way to cook up your bacon is because the oven maintains a stable internal temperature, so it's going to cook that bacon more evenly, and it's going to help to maintain a more stable internal temperature in the bacon and just really bring out that flavor. So best way to cook your bacon. 300 slices of raw bacon cooked up will produce about 12 to 14 cups of grease. So if you like using bacon grease in your cooking, you're definitely going to love your raw bacon. And it does have about a 60% shrinkage rate, so just be aware of that. Now, raw bacon does produce a thicker, chewier slice of bacon. So if that's the kind of bacon you like, you're going to love the raw bacon. The next is our pre-cooked bacon, and this is a 60 count package of it. We also sell it in a 300 slice box. So if you like bulk, you're gonna love that 300 slice box. Now in catalog 2, our 300 slice box is also on sale, regular $49.99. It's gonna be on sale for $45.99, so you're gonna save $4 there too, so great time to stock up on that kind of bacon if you like it. Now with pre-cooked bacon, some of its benefits, it is absolutely the easiest, fastest way to fix bacon. Pre-cooked bacon's easy to spot. It's got a flat, uniform look to it. And because most of the cooking's done, it is going to cook up in 30 to 90 seconds because really all you're doing is warming it up. Now, raw or frozen or in your fridge cooked up already, pre-cooked bacon also lasts a lot longer. It is going to last 60 to 90 days before it begins to deteriorate in its quality and its taste. So this is a really great bacon. If you're not a big bacon eater and eat it all the time, this will last a lot longer for you. Now, 300 slices of pre-cooked bacon is only going to produce about a half a cup of grease. So just be aware of that because most of the cooking's done for you. And it will produce a thinner, crispier bacon. So if that's the kind of bacon you like, you're going to love our pre-cooked bacon. And cost-wise, slice by slice comparison between the raw and the pre-cooked is just pennies of each other in cost. So really it just depends on the kind of bacon you like and what you need it for. Okay, the next two products I want to cover are our Jones Dairy Maple Sausage Links. These are a great product. They come in a 28-ounce bag and they're only $9.99. And these are an all-natural, fully cooked pork sausage. They don't have any fillers or binders or preservatives or MSG in them, and they are sweetened with a real maple syrup. And so these are also certified gluten-free, so a great product for you to use. And then we're going to use the Ore-Ida hash browns. Now these come in a 3-pound bag, and I've already used some. So you get more than what you see right here. But these Ore-Ida shredded hash browns are great. They are thin, shredded raw potato, and they come in a 3-pound bag. They're only $7.99, and you can use them as a side dish. You can use them in casseroles or all kinds of great things. So we're going to show you how a couple of fun different ideas on how to use our hash browns and our sausage and our bacons. Now, if you love shredded hash browns and you want to get these in bulk, we do have an 18-pound case of our Glacier shredded hash browns. You get 6 3-pound bags in a case, and they're only $24.99. So you're going to save about 48% by buying it by the case. One more thing I'm going to cover before we get into our recipes, and that is our old-fashioned buttermilk pancake mix. This is great. It is a just add water mix, and it is going to produce a very fluffy pancake or waffle. This bag is a 4-pound bag, so you're getting a lot of mix in here. It is just $5.99, and it makes 115 4-inch pancakes. So you're going to get a lot of use out of it. The great thing about our mixes is once you cut them open, it's got a Ziploc at the top, so you just use what you need, close it back up, and it's ready to go the next time you want it. Now if you do a lot of pancakes or a lot of things using pancake mix, we also sell it in a 25-pound box. Now this 25-pound box is only $32.99. You're going to save $5.50 off of buying it by the bag. So if you're into buying bulk and you love pancake mixes, this is a great way to go. This 25-pound box is going to make 718 4-inch pancakes. So you're going to get a lot of use out of this box of pancake mix. Okay, our first recipe using these great ingredients we just talked about are breakfast muffins. We're going to make 2 different kinds. One is going to have a hash brown cup to put our egg mixture in, and the other one's going to have a bacon cup. So with the hash brown cup, I have put 3 cups of our shredded hash browns, and I've let them thaw. We're going to add to that 1 beaten egg, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper, and 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And then you're going to mix this all up really well. Now it's ready to put into our muffin tins. So I have a muffin tin here that I have sprayed with our wonderful Vegeline. You can't live without this stuff. And I've also put cupcake papers in here. It helps the hash brown muffins to come out easier. So you're going to take a scoop, put it in each cup, and then you want to smash it down and around on the sides to create a cup. And we'll fill each one of these cups, and then we're going to bake it in an oven at 400 degrees. And this is how we do it. You just put a spoonful of mixture in, and then you just smash it around to create the cup. Just like that, and our last one. All right, while our hash brown cup is baking, we're going to prepare the bacon lined cups. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to use the pre-cooked bacon, and then we're going to use 2 per cup. And you basically want to take 1, line it around the outside to create the cup. Then you're going to take the second one, and I kind of just fold it like a ribbon, and then stick it down inside the bottom to create the bottom part, and just kind of smash it down in there like that. And then we'll line each one of these, and they'll be ready for the egg mixture. Okay, now we're going to prepare the egg mixture that's going into these breakfast muffins. So in my bowl, I have 8 more eggs and that I have scrambled. And then we're going to add another 1/2 teaspoon of salt with 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. We're going to add a 1/2 cup of 50/50, and then we're going to mix it all up. Our hash brown muffins are ready to go, as are the bacon cups. So this is the fun part of making these breakfast muffins, because everybody has a different taste. You now have the freedom to add whatever you would like to these muffins. So we're going to start off with 1 scoop of our egg mixture into each one of these cups. And then you can have all kinds of great things to put in. So I've got some ham from our Carve Master ham we had left over. So we're going to put a couple of things of that in. Then you can put red peppers, tomatoes, green peppers. There's all kinds of great things to add. You can even add some sausage if you want to. Definitely cheese. Everything's better with cheese. So we'll just fill this, top it off with cheese. And then, to add a little bit of spice to it, you can do dried or fresh parsley or thyme, and really give it some really nice flavor. And here is our hash brown cups again. 1 scoop of the egg mixture in each one. And then you're going to add whatever other things you want to add to your muffin cups. So this time I'm going to add a little bit of crumbled bacon. My kids love the bacon. I have a couple that like sausage, so we'll do some sausage, some green peppers, definitely some cheese again, lots of cheese. There you go. And then we're going to do some thyme on this one. A little bit of thyme, add some nice flavor to it. We'll finish these up, and again, we will bake these in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes until the eggs have baked all the way through. Okay, our breakfast muffins are done. Here's the hash brown one. Look how yummy that is, and here is the bacon one. I will just tell you, my kids think these are wonderful, and these will not last long in my house. Okay, our next recipe we're going to share with you is pancake dippers. These use our wonderful buttermilk pancake mix, and I've mixed up 1 batch. Again, it's just add water, so it's a mix and water. Mix up 1 batch, and then I went to the store and got this cheap container that I've put the pancake mix into. And what we're going to do is we're going to spray our griddle with our Vegeline. All right. Then we're going to take the pancake mix and we're going to make it in an oval shape. And you want to have your bacon already cooked up, ready to go. So whether you use the pre-cooked bacon or use the big by bulk, and you're gonna want to make this in an oval shape, just a little bit bigger than your piece of bacon. So I'll get the bacon or the pancake mix all done up, and then you're gonna take the piece of bacon and you're gonna push it down into the batter and then cover it up with some more pancake mix. Okay, and you'll let that cook just like a regular pancake until it bubbles and the underside is browned, and then we're going to turn it and cook it on the other side. All right, there is one done. Okay, our pancake dippers are done, and look how delicious they are. They're ready to eat with your favorite syrup, and we have some amazing syrups available through Allison's Pantry. We've got a 4-pack of our cream gourmet syrups, and we've got 2 3-packs of different flavors of fruit syrups. So enjoy these great fun pancake dippers with bacon in them. Our last dish we're going to talk about today is a sausage and hash brown breakfast bars. We're going to make these in a casserole dish. So what I've done is I've taken our maple pork sausage links that I talked about earlier, and I've heated them up and then cut them up with my kitchen knife into small pieces. And then I've added a half a cup of our frozen diced onions, and that's wonderful. That's ready to go. Now we're going to set this aside. Okay, this recipe calls for 24 eggs, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, and 1 cup of milk. And to that we're going to add 1 tablespoon of seasoning salt. Once we get it mixed up, we're going to add another half a cup of chopped onions. I love our already done flavor packed chopped onions. They're so easy to use. And then we're going to add half a red pepper chopped up and half a green pepper chopped up. I love color with my casseroles. Mix it up really, really good. We're going to spray our casserole dish with Vegeline. Okay. Then we're going to take half our sausage and onion mixture and we're going to put it in the bottom. Kind of spread that around. We're going to take 2 cups of our hash browns and spread those across the bottom. Then we're going to take the egg mixture and we're going to pour it all over inside very carefully on top of the hash browns. Then we're going to top it with 2 handfuls of cheese. It's wonderful. There we go. Then we're going to take the other half of our sausage mixture and put it on top, sausage and onions. Okay, then 2 more cups of hash browns. Then we're going to bake it in an oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes or until the eggs are baked if it takes a little bit longer in your oven. Oh, and you do want to cover it with foil when you put it in the oven. Okay, my casserole's done, and because it was so big, it took another 45 minutes for it to cook. But it's done really nice. Now, before it's going to be ready to eat, we want it to cool, but while it's cooling, we want to put some cheese on top of it and make it a lot better. So we're going to put another handful of cheese on the top. There we go. And then we're going to cover it back up again with a tin foil and let that cheese melt while it cools down. Our casserole is cooled off, the cheese is melted, and it looks delicious. Okay, there we go. Look at that delicious casserole. This is our breakfast hash brown casserole. So that's all I have for tonight. I hope that you have learned some fun things about the great products that we have that will help you to fix great breakfasts for dinner. Thank you.
I want to teach you a new way to grow your Allison's Pantry business and motivate your customers to get things done. We are going to talk about coupons today. We're going to talk about the details, important things you need to remember, the ins and outs of how to use them, and how coupons can help you and your customers. First of all, what are the benefits of using coupons? Did you know that 96% of consumers have used a coupon in the last 90 days? And that 78% of customers have used a coupon, and it has encouraged them to purchase a brand that they wouldn't normally buy? Coupons are an effective sales tool that can help you to do several things. One of the things it can help you to do is to get customers to spend more money. We have a coupon that is for $5 off of a $35 order. We also have a coupon that is for 5% off of a $50 order. Another thing that coupons can do is it can entice your customers to try a new product and educate customers about our best-selling products. Sharing a coupon for $5 off of Daly's pre-cooked bacon or a coupon for a free bag of flavor pack vegetables can introduce a new customer to a core product that has proved popular with other Allison's Pantry customers. It can also encourage an existing customer to try a best-selling product that they haven't tried yet. Coupons can motivate a customer to place an order more often. Do you have a customer that you would like to place an order this month? Text them a copy of a coupon with an expiration date that ends when the order goes in. The urgency of the expiration date will encourage your customer to order promptly. Coupons can also persuade a customer to come back. Do you have a good customer that hasn't ordered in a while? Offer them a coupon for free shipping this month. You can also check out Becky's most recent blog post about reactivating your customers. Coupons can also help you build your business through referrals. The best way to get a new customer is to get an existing customer to share a catalog with friends and family. We have Pantry Bucks, $5, $10, and $25. We also have a free shipping coupon and a free gift coupon. Any of those would be a great motivation to encourage your customers to share those catalogs with friends and family so that they can get the rewards too. And it helps you to build your business. Coupons can help you acquire new customers. Sometimes a customer is hesitant to try our products. You could slip a coupon for 99-cent popcorn chicken into one of our catalogs. That's a deal they can't pass up. Remind them of our 100% money back guarantee, and you'll have a new customer for sure. Lastly, coupons can thank your loyal customers. You can randomly choose a customer that you love and a coupon, free shipping, a free gift, anything, and slip it inside of a thank you note, letting them know how much you appreciate that customer. It's a great way to thank your customers. Okay, let's talk about the details of how to use the coupons and the ins and outs of all of it. First of all coupons are redeemed through the representative, not Allison's Pantry. Allison's Pantry will provide you with beautifully pre-designed coupons. Lori made us the most beautiful coupons, and they come two ways. They come with a whole sheet of the same coupon, like this bacon wrapped pork fillet, or they come as a sheet of 3 different coupons so that you can have a variety when you print. The coupons can be printed either in black and white or color. It's up to you. They are also editable, if that's a word. That means you can put your name and your phone number on them. If you'll notice the coupons that I've printed, I've left the expiration date blank because I want to handwrite that in when I'm ready to use the coupon. Number 2, consider the behavior that you're looking for with your customer. Are you looking for them to refer a friend? Are you looking to reactivate a customer? Do you want them to spend more money? Choose a coupon that will reward that behavior. The coupons are made to mix and match for just that purpose. Number 3, a good rule of thumb is 5 coupons per month. To keep tracking and costs to a minimum, we recommend that you focus on just a few customers at a time rather than focusing on everybody all at once. Number 4, track and follow up. Speaking of tracking, Lori has made us a beautiful tracking sheet to track the coupons that you are giving to your customers. This tracking sheet has the name of the customer, which coupon you gave them, when it expires, and when it was used. It can also be used to track your business expenses for your taxes. And most importantly, use your tracking sheet to follow up. When you've given a customer a coupon, make sure and send them a text and say, hey, did you want to use that coupon that I gave you this month? Number 5, point out expiration dates and stick to them. An expiration date creates urgency. Leverage that. Number 6, the secret is occasionally, not regularly. Coupons should be given out occasionally, not every month to every customer. You don't want customers to come to expect a coupon before they'll purchase anything. Number 7, do it the easy way. The best way to redeem a coupon is to take the coupon amount off of the total amount due. So if you have a customer who's ordered and their order is $185.85, I have a receipt to show you. And they've ordered $185.50, then the easiest way to do it is to take the $5 off of the bottom of the coupon and just manually write it onto your paper. Portals doesn't allow you to put the coupon into the Portals program, so you're just gonna have to manually write it on there like this. Also, it's important to remember that if the coupon is for a certain amount of money spent, like it's $5 off of a $35 coupon, then that $35 needs to come before shipping and tax. That comes off of the subtotal. Does that make sense? Lastly, number 8, how to distribute the coupons. There's a lot of different ways that you can get these coupons to your customers. You could text them a picture. You could email them a coupon. You could print the coupons and cut them out and put it inside of a catalog, or you could slip it inside of a thank you note and send it by snail mail. One more bonus idea. Wouldn't it be fun to do a contest and the winner of the contest gets to draw a coupon randomly out of a basket? That could be fun too. I hope you are as excited about these coupons as I am. I think it's going to be a really great way to build your business. When you use these coupons and it works for you, will you post it on Facebook so that you can share the idea with everybody? Everybody wants to see what's working. And also, if you have any questions about what we've talked about, please put it into the questions on the sidebar so that we can discuss it. If you have a question, probably someone else has the same question as you do. Thanks so much.